Europe. Here for me it's morning, and I'm super excited to be sharing an updo idea. Actually, it's inspired by Frida from Mexico. As you can see, I'm wearing my lovely Mexican top, and I'm super inspired by Mexico. Not only the colours that they have everywhere, but the joyousness of the people, the music, the culture, and the streets that I've seen are super inspiring to me. Not only in hair colour and cutting, but also in dressing hair. So this is very unusual for me. Most people think that I just colour, but I actually cut, colour and style. And I love styling, I really do. So I'm going to be sharing with you on my long-haired mannequin here. You can see this mannequin is very long, extremely long. First part that we do is the preparation. So in the preparation, this is key. It's like the foundation of a house. It's like building a house. You want a good firm foundation, then the rest of the house is going to be okay. So first things first, what I have done is I have separated the hair from the middle of the ear. Oopsie, I just turned her around. Here I'm just seeing if you can see that. It's separated from the middle of the ear all the way round to the opposite side to the other ear. So let's just get that in closely. And it's from the centre of the ear all the way over to the opposite side. So I'll turn my lovely mannequin round here, and maybe Nicholas in a minute, he's going to get this on camera for me. So from one side all the way to the other, but the widest part is in the centre. So wider in the centre, narrow on one side, and then narrow on the other side. So almost a crescent shape. This hair is kept out of the way, and this is going to be our crown area. So what I did here in the back is I set the hair using a 1-inch curling iron, and what I did is when I used the 1-inch curling iron, I then took each section and I pinned the base. So the base was pinned in and it was left to cool. I only pin the base and leave the end out. The reason is because of the length of the hair being so long, gravity will pull it out, and we all know the roots always get to be the straightest part in long hair, and then you've got a ginormous amount of curl on the ends. So this is how I pin the hair to let it cool down. So let's get on with the fun part, the front part. So body position, very important. What you will need elastic bands, little elastic bands. They're very small. These are clear. Hopefully you can see those. You will be seeing them as I use them. They're clear, small elastic bands. Hi everyone, I can see people watching. I am going to put on my glasses. Hi Jamie. Mexico suits me, thank you. So I'm going to be using small elastic bands. Body position, really important. Bring the head towards you. Now, this is extremely important. And we are going to start off with the first part of this crown section. So we're going to take a horizontal section. Just get my own hair out of the way. We're going to take a horizontal section across. And with that horizontal section, I'm just going to pin the rest of the hair out of the way. So just pin that out of the way. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my elastic band and just do a ponytail. But the direction is pulled up. So you're pulling the hair towards you. So just put that ponytail in. Very simple. There. Now you want that first part nice and tight. So that's there. You can see the root drag is coming up and away from the skin here and towards me. And then I just pull it slightly tight and leave that. Now, I am going to let the hair drop down, but I'm not going to force it down because it's going to cause that elastic band to come away from the hair. This is because you want the sides tight. So we're going to drop that down. Next section, horizontal section across. And as I'm working through this, any of you that are nervous about doing long hair dressing, the easiest way to keep hair secure is to use elastic bands. So the second one here, horizontal section across, little ponytail, pulling the root towards me. There, so that's that one. Now, what I do, pin the hair out of the way. Now, this is the starting point, so hopefully you're all watching. I am going to separate this ponytail in half and bring this one through. So as I separate this in half, I'm then going to take my comb, my rat tail comb, and I'm going to be doing another ponytail, joining that one in. So now this can be a bit tricky. You really want this ponytail to be the center. You see how it can fall from one side to the other? You don't want it like that. You want it to fall bang down the center. And you'll see once we get going with this, it's really, really easy. The tricky part is the starting off, like with anything in life. Ponytail that, pull the hair through, and I'm going to look to see if there's any questions in a minute. I want to get my groove on and know that I'm doing well on time. So now what I do, I separate the underneath one and I pull that one through. So let's see if we can get that. So I'm separating in half the underneath one and let that ponytail come through. Now I'm going to lift up the head a little. There we go. Body positioning, really, really important when doing this style. Take a horizontal section. Take my elastic band. Tie it. There we go. So that's in the center. And now take that underneath one, split it in half. And then let the top one fall through. Now we've got that split in half. Let's move towards the top. Madam, if you could just move your head. Lovely, thank you. Taking a horizontal section again, across. This is the foundation for the style. So the fun part is going to come in a minute, and you're going to see how this expands so nicely and so easily. Ponytail there. Take the underneath one, separate in half, let that one fall through, carry on and work up the hair. And I'm only on this crescent shape at the moment. So take that one. Now, did you see that? See, my ponytail was falling to one side. That's not good. You always want to keep it central. So keep an eye on that. Now, if you find it easier, what you can always do is pin or clip that hair there. So do this ponytail, and let's just explain that for you. What you can always do with a very light clip, just lightly go in and pin that so it stays in the middle. It's up to you. It usually stays in the middle, to be honest. So Next section, separate in half. Let's turn her around, turn her forward. So separate in half, take my horizontal section, and I'm just going to look to see if there's any questions. I'm going to just look at
no questions at all.
No questions
no,
at
just,
all?
everybody's happy to see you. And,
wow. I hope that if there's no questions at all, I hope because it's not boring.
Andrew Dunn says she delivers. She always delivers. That's the
Mr. Andrew Dunn, Lord Dunn. I'm Lady Dove. He's Lord Dunn. So, separating this, I want to make sure we can really see that because we're getting to the top. Separating the underneath ponytail. Sorry, I just lost myself. So split in half, take the next section, okay, pull, that gets pulled through. Now, you can see the hair's quite heavy here, so I like to pin it. Take the ponytail underneath, that's side by side, split in half, split this in half. Nicholas, do I need to bend the...
No, you're great.
No,
I can come up.
Okay, so, ponytail again. Now these are getting bigger here because you've got more density of hair. The ponytail underneath, split in half, let it fall down, bring your that one through. And this is the basis for the crown. Now, some of you might be looking at the colour of my mannequin. This mannequin I coloured previously. It was a level 10, very, very gold. And what I did, I used Instamatic. I used equal parts of Pink Dream and Muted Mauve to get this lovely rosé colour. So just pull that through. Now, if you find the back is getting in the way, just simply just clip it out of the way. Let go of this ponytail. Split that in half. Bring this one through. So I've got my half there, and now I've just probably got, looking at that now, I probably just got 2 more sections. So horizontal, now body position. We've got to start getting it back down tighter and closer to the side of the head. We don't want it to start to bulk out. So put this in a ponytail. So there, now you see how that's bulking out? That is not good. We need that to be tighter. So the way to get that tighter is taking a piece of the underneath hair. You see I've got a piece of the underneath hair here, the part that you need to pull it too close, and just pull, pull, pull. And that brings it really, really close.
Maria Zara is asking, can you tell again the color mixture, please?
Yes, of course, Marie Sarah. The colour mixture, this was on a level 10, very gold hair. And it was very, very blonde, so a level 10 gold. And I used equal parts of Instamatic. I used Muted Mauve and Pink Dream. Equal parts with the 4%.
Level? What's the level?
The level, Instamatic is like fun colours. It doesn't actually have a level. There's a pale pink, a pale blue, pale green, pale mauve. So it's Muted Mauve and Pink Dream. So basically it's a pale mauve and pink, but it doesn't have any, Instamatic doesn't have any level. I'm going to pin that up. I hope that answered that person's question. I'm going to pin that up now.
Tanya's on it. She's answering a few questions.
Tanya Lang, I love you. Thank you for saving me, as you always do. So I'm now down to the side part. This is very important. We want to make sure the sides are tight, both sides. So here, tilt the head away from you. So tilt the mannequin's head away from you, and it enables you to be able to get right in, nice and close and tight in the mannequin. That's so funny, Tanya. Tanya Lang is a brand educator, and she's a very, very good friend of mine. She works for Weller, and she is a very talented educator, and she's jumped on the call to help me with any questions, because actually because to be honest, answering and looking at them at the same time is not my forte. But I do have a Facebook, I actually have an iPad in front of me. So we've pulled that down. Now, this part here, let's look at what we're to do here. So now we have the side and this ponytail. I take this ponytail, and this is the one that is going to be the tightest. So, as I split it in half, I'm just going to gently hold this up here, but these two halves here have to be very tight. So you want your elastic band to really go in quite close there. So, putting the elastic band here. Hopefully you can see that. See, that's really going in closely and tightly. There. So you want that one. Remember what I said before, if it's too bulky and sticking out from the side of the face, just take a piece of hair that's closest to that part and pull down, and that'll get it nice and tight. That always gets it nice and tight. So, now we've got all this bulk. What we're going to do with this is, it's very straightforward. We are going to just do a very simple 3-strand braid. So just taking that, and we're just doing a 3-strand braid. Now, I'm not going to do it too tight because I'm going to expand this, because this is going to help support the crown. So very simple 3-strand braid. Going to put elastic band on the end here, and the fun part is just about to happen. So from here, 3-strand braid, 2-strand braid, it's up to you, whichever you want. Now, here we go. Move. So we have now our braid there. This is where the expansion comes out. You're going to use your little fingers. I'm right-handed, and you're just going to use your fingers like pincers. So, this is where you have to think about shape. So we know as a crown, we want it narrow on the sides, and then we want it higher in the middle. So keep that visualization in your head. So what I'm going to do now is, I am taking my fingers, and I am going to be pulling out, bit by bit, a little bit of each one of these sections. So that's one of the sections. I'm not doing this part yet. I'm just doing the back part all the way across. After I've done the back part, I'm then going to move to the front. So there's a little bit. We're going to do now another. This is going to be more. There we go. This piece is going to be even more. And just taking the top part, and if the top part isn't pulling out, then you take the underneath, then the next piece, pull it up, gently pull it up, just with your 2 fingers, and you're just pulling the top, and you see it's building from narrow to more. Then I'm going to be doing more, building it, building it out, lifting it up, and it's going to be much bigger than this when I finish. Building it out, pulling it out, pulling it out. And making sure, like any long hair dressing, that you step back and you look at your shape and your work. So that started to lift up. Lift it. Now I'm only on the back part. I have not touched the front part. Now I'm going to go in and do some of the front and expand the front. Pull it, lift it up. Lift it up like that, bit by bit. So back first, then front. And you look at it and you start to see how your shape is coming on. Just like that. Okay, so I want to look at it and make sure, yes, we need a bit more up here. Now, this part, we're going to expand this this braid and expand it. Make it bigger all the way through. And this is going to be the support and backbone for behind that crown. Just tie that up. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and we are going to take this and we're going to fold it back from the side here. We're going to fold it back and place it. And Nicholas, if you could come and get the camera here, that's great. So this is the bit hanging down. This, we're going to fold it back so it's tight, and we're going to bring it back behind the crown you have already. So now, what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using bobby pins here. A bobby pin. I am not going to open the bobby pin up. It's going to stay closed, and I'm going to start to pin this behind here. Another one, just pinning it in and pinning it in. Now, what I'm doing is I am looking for shape. I'm going to come around here and just pin this in. This end here is just going to get tucked in behind. So all I'm looking at now is shape. So this is going to be tucked here. Pinning it in. And just get. Now, if you need, you can use, I think they're called wiggly pins or the serrated hair pins. And you can just start to pin in areas if you feel it needs to be tighter in some areas than others. So I'm just going to pin that in. And now my favourite part. So now we have that. Let's take that clip out. I just picked some fresh bougainvillea here. So I'm going to take little pieces of this beautiful flower.
Somebody's asking for crossing pins or not?
No, I don't. You don't need to cross pins. That's a great question. Do you need to cross pins? No. No, you don't have to. And all you do with the flower is just place it in wherever you feel is necessary, just to add decoration, colour in there. I love bougainvillea. I mean, they come in so many different colours, but the pink one especially is so pretty. So just putting that in there. Just got these fresh this morning. They're so, so lovely. I mean, the flowers, that's why a lot of my inspiration comes from Mexico, because the flowers and the colours are just unbelievable. They really, really are. Well, that one's too much there, so I'm just pushing that in a little bit. Want to put one in there. Now, the back part of the hair, okay, let's just put one in here. That's there, in there, lovely. So, the back part of the hair I've just curled, and all I'm going to do is just run my fingers through it. Actually, let's do it with a brush. And if you were wanting to do this for a photo shoot, what I would do with the back, I'm just brushing it through now. Let me turn around so you can see. See, it curled beautifully. It really did. It curled very, very nicely. That's because the base, the first few inches, was pinned up so that it didn't lose any of that body and volume at the base, at the root area. So let's turn her round and see how she's doing. I have to look at her in the front because remember I said about standing back, looking at your work. Actually, I feel we need a little flower in here, just at that bit there, and maybe a little one there. So put a little flower in, just in through there, and you can just touch it in like that. Now here, it needs a little bit more of a pinning because it's a bit too wide. There. So if we were doing a photo shoot and I wanted maximum volume here for width through this part of the hair, what I would do is I would separate the hair through the centre back. So this is only if it's for a photo shoot. We would separate the hair and then clip it so that it's pushing all of the hair forward. Now that is if it's for a photo shoot, so that it makes the hair come a lot more forward. Let's turn it round and see how that is. I want it very sort of soft and frothy. Now, you don't have to have the hair down at all. You can actually have it where it's pinned away, you know? You could tie it all back and maybe have 2 braids, or you can have it loose. It's up to you about the length behind, because that's personal preference. Usually if someone, a bride or someone wants something like this done, they do like a little bit of softness because this is quite firm and it's quite sort of avant-garde, so it is nice to offshoot it with something, some soft curls. And I think have it when you've got hair this long, it's lovely that it's nice and full and soft. It gives it a softness, so you've got something very bold and then softer through the back. Oh, thank you. Someone's saying it's very nice. That's so smart. Thank you. Thank you. And so I wanted just to recap this as well. We started off with a section from ear to ear, and that section it's wider in the front and narrow on the side. So let's say it goes 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, back down to 2, 1, and 1 inch. So it's like a crescent. That's your base. Now, how to get little tips for anyone that's just joined, how to curl really, really long hair. and keep it really full, nice and full at the root, what I did was I took a section of hair, I used a 1-inch curling iron, I curled it, but the cooling down process is key. So I curled the hair. When I cooled it, let it cool down, I only, let's turn it this way, I only pinned the base, not the end. So I wrapped it around my finger a couple of times, let the end out, and then pinned just that base part while it was cooling down. So end out, first few inches pinned. That keeps it nice and full at the root area, because the number one complaint about anyone that has long hair, when you curl it, it's flat and then it's curly on the ends. This allows maximum volume. Like, look at the volume in this, you can see, and this hair is heavy. So when you do come to brush it out, it's lovely and bouncy and frothy, and it's really great curl. And what I did here, I wanted to mention, I used my GHD iron so that I don't compromise the colour at all. So it was my GHD curling iron to get all of this curl. So bit by bit, if there's any questions at all, please ask. I know I have my Instagram up there, my Instagram and my Facebook and my social media. And if there are any questions, please feel free. Anyone that's nervous about doing updos, do not worry about doing this. It's so easy. It's like if you can tie your shoes in shoelaces and put elastic bands in ponytails, you can do this. And I used to be one of those hairdressers. I used to be one of those people that if an updo came into the salon, I'd be so nervous that I would do anything to avoid the updo. And now I really enjoy them. And it's truly because I look at it like building a house, having a firm foundation and then building on top. Because when you see this style done, I have to say, it could be overwhelming about how was it started, how was it done, what parts you started. But if you take it one step at a time, it's much easier. I'm just looking at...
Nikki Clifford is asking, what is your go-to product to prep the hair prior to curls?
This is a great question. My go-to product to prep the hair, I use IME, and what I do is I use the heat protectant spray from IME, and then I'm a big lover of oil reflections. So I sprayed that, I put a little bit of oil reflections on my hands and I worked it through, because I do like things that are more shiny. And then the final part, my go-to and my favourite hairspray is Sebastian Shaper. I'm going to give a light mist. So you don't need too much in the world of product, but I do believe any time that you're doing curling hair that's got colour, you should always use Thermal Image, which is our IME heat protectant spray. So that's a great question. Thank you for that question, whoever asked that. Any other questions? Are you missing being on the road, or are you loving being in one place? Andrew Dunn. Well, you know what? At first I missed travelling. I fly 4 times a week prior COVID. So for me, my work came to a hard stop, and it was really hard. So I spent the first 10 days not feeling deserving. I had all these issues going on in my head, but I have to say, Andrew, I'm really enjoying it now. And on Sundays, watching you is an absolute treat. I love watching you on Sundays. But yes, it's a different way of being. It's now the new normal is virtual education. I don't know when I'm going to be doing a class again with people, with an audience of 500, a couple of thousand, or even 50. Maybe it's never going to happen again. But Andrew, I'm thoroughly enjoying the virtual side of education, I have to say. Also, where did you get your fab top? My top was from a place in Mexico called Chiapas, and it's where they do all this lovely embroidery, and my top was from there, so Chiapas in Mexico. But you see the colours, they're so bright. I love the bright colours, I really do. And this is my scarf, obviously, but this tapestry, it's beautiful, the colours are lovely. Now, oh hi Nikki Clifford! Oh my gosh, now I'm nervous, all these people watching. But I wanted to mention to you that also I'm on Wednesday, the same time. I'm going to be on Wednesday at exactly the same time as today, and I'm going to be sharing a colour technique with you that's no foils, no balayage, and the tools you're going to need when you do this colour technique is your hands, and it's called organic twisting, and I'm going to be doing that with some beautiful reds on Wednesday. So please watch me. I love this technique. Organic twisting I developed a while ago, and it is a massive time saver for when you're in the salon. It really, really is. It's going to help you do quick services. It's very quick and easy, it's very simple, and it's a way of blending 3 colours together all on one head very quickly and very easily. So I hope you enjoy my lovely updo. Frida Kahlo inspired, and just creating a crown. Couple of key things. Remember, when you expand the hair, remember, narrow at the sides and getting more and more and more. So the highest part is the part in the center middle, which you can see here.
One more question.
Yes.
When on Wednesday? Alison Hill is asking.
Alison, on Wednesday, it is going to be the
Same time today.
as today, and I have to remember.
Tanya just answered.
Tanya just answered. Today, I started Pacific time, 10 o'clock, Central Time America, 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern, and for you wonderful folk in England and Europe and everything, I think it was 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It's the same as today. Would you cover...
Exposed elastics.
Oh, yes. The question is, would you cover exposed elastics? Yes, I would. And how you can do that is very simply by taking a fine pin, and you can, this one here, what you can do, you can actually pull hair from somewhere else and you can sort of cover it. Like I'm taking hair from here, pulling it down and then pulling it down and then back up, and you pin it in like that. There, you pin that in a little bit like that. You just like work it out so you cover it. But yes, you can cover the exposed elastics, or use, and I'm going to be honest with you, use a flower to cover them. I know that sounds mad and lazy, but it's true. Just use a flower. If something's exposed that you don't like the look of it, just pop the flower in, and I will put a flower in there to cover up that exposed elastic band. But make sure that it stays. I'm just like placing it there. It's not actually staying in, to be honest. Anyway, you get the gist. These poor flowers, I picked them this morning and they're wilting a bit.
And you are an hour later.
Thank you.
For Wednesday.
I'm on
an hour later.
I'm on an hour later.
Yeah, Susan just wrote.
Ah,
after
okay.
Ryan Reedham.
Okay, excellent. So I'm on an hour later.
Which is 1 p.m.
Susan, what time is
1
that?
p.m. 1 p.m. here.
1 p.m. for myself.
11 a.m.
And it's
11 Pacific
11 a.m. for
Pacific.
Pacific and 2 p.m. for Eastern. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for sharing your time. I truly appreciate it. I love the Weller Professionals Global Hair page. And Andrew Dunn, thanks for all you do. Fergal, Susan, everybody, for bringing education across the whole Weller world. Bye.